Okay, Commissioner, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey Ken, how's it going? We are now into May. Can you believe it?
May 1st, 2020. It seems like the days just kind of extend into one another and the weeks just all connect after that.
Yeah, I just call this continues day. It's just one long day after another.
It is. Well, I think we all appreciate the effort that the staff is putting in across the board from our regions to our facilities to our 24-hour operations. So, that being said, we just actually ended April, which was Child Abuse Prevention Month. Would you like to start there and talk a little bit about what we did throughout the month?
Yeah, it was an opportunity for us to really engage with our media outlets and talk about some of the things that the department has been doing throughout the course of the pandemic. It's also an opportunity for us to reevaluate and think about our engagement strategies with kids and families. We've heard some great stories come back from our providers and from our staff about innovative ways they've maintained contact. Now more than ever, it's important to pay attention to the safety of our kids and to build up the resilience of families.
And I think throughout the month, as we have really since mid-March, even through April, we've put out a daily newsletter where we're
Yeah.
providing information on supports for staff, but also highlighting a lot of really positive things staff are doing. And then this past Thursday, we put out our monthly
Our new
spotlight, right?
spotlight. Yeah, yeah. Our new spotlight just got sent out. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, take a look at it because it really does nicely put everything into one document to just kind of help you see some of the things that are happening with your peers and across the department.
Yep. And so now we are in the middle, we've commenced Foster Parent Appreciation Month.
Yeah, so from April, Child Abuse Prevention Month, into May, Foster Parent Appreciation Month, it gives us an opportunity to really talk about the heroic nature in which our foster parents have risen to the occasion. We have a new foster care director in Deb Borzolino, who's been leading the charge with Natalia Liriano and Pam Kelly and all of our foster care staff. You know, you have Nicole McKelvey Walsh, who leads up our therapeutic foster care, and just a tremendous job that they are all doing in leading our foster care work as we head into Foster Care Appreciation Month.
Mhm. And daily, we see just the tremendous efforts that the foster parents are making. Certainly, it's difficult and stressful to have children in your home now all day. So we
Yeah.
have our foster parents really balancing, meeting their own needs, the individual needs of each child and
Mhm.
family member, along now with assisting with schoolwork each and every day and additional structure. So it's a great opportunity throughout the month to really celebrate our foster parents and what they do each and every day for our
Yeah.
kids.
We're gonna share some data related to foster care, as we will the rest of the data that happens at the end of this video. If you recall, we put the data at the end of the video that gives you a weekly snapshot of what we look like as a department as it relates to COVID-19. And so we'll do that at the end of the video as we've been doing the last couple of weeks.
Great. We did want to show everybody this great picture that the Connecticut Alliance for Foster and Adoptive Families sent over. These are their liaisons, and
Yeah.
Commissioner, I mean, this is just great. This I think came to you right at the end of the day today.
Yeah, I see a couple of the liaisons from my previous region. There's Dora, there's Jennifer Bellamy. And, our foster KFAF liaisons are really that bridge that help us connect our foster parents in the area office, foster care workers in the area office to our foster parents that are in communities. And they did this wonderful collage to show how connected they still remain to all the families that they support. So I thought that was great. It came to us at the end of the day. So more to come on some of the KFAF activities over Foster Care Appreciation Month. They're going to be very creative in their ways of celebrating foster care this year more than ever.
They are. We certainly appreciate all that Margaret Doherty has done. And if you can't see this on your screen real easily, it says liaisons are still here and ready to support you any way we can. Foster Parent Appreciation Month, and everyone has their own individual word that they're hanging up. So that is
That's
great.
awesome.
That is great. And I think that's a segue into an announcement that our academy came out with earlier this Friday afternoon.
Yeah, so Ken learned how to toggle in and out of his
Yeah.
screen, and we're getting real fancy here. Our academy has just sent out the registration for a series of just virtual trainings and how to assess virtually, how to really detect certain things in a virtual environment, some other ways that we can use our remote resources to stay connected to kids and families. So log into those and sign up for those trainings that'll be coming over the next couple of weeks, because it really does give us an extra tool in our toolbox to be able to continue to do our mission critical work.
Yep. And as you mentioned earlier, you are hearing, as I am, just tremendous stories statewide of how we are engaging with families, providing support, empowering them, staying virtually connected to our youth in care. So these trainings are an opportunity to really enhance those skills a little bit more as well.
Mm-hmm.
Along those same lines, in last week's video, you really encouraged staff to outreach and provide information to you via the dcf.covid-19 at ct.gov mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted feedback on how is teleworking going for everybody? What is working? What is it? What could they tell us? And I can tell you, Commissioner, we've probably received 25 emails
Mm-hmm.
from all different staff across the state providing their input. Can you talk a little bit about what you would like to continue to see staff doing through that mailbox?
Yeah, this is great. We've not only gotten some feedback from the mailbox, Ken, but probably 3 or 4 times that from the division leads, the
Yep.
assistant chiefs, and folks across the department who are hearing from their divisions and units and work groups on things that we should consider as we start to think about how do you resume full functioning of DCF. There's not a reopening because we never closed. Again, our 24/7 staff has been out there, our investigators have been out there, and we never stopped. But we know that we have been at reduced capacity. And so rather than just flipping the switch to get back to the way we've always done business, we know that there's a new normal. There's a normal that we have been able to experience in this virtual environment in terms of hearing words like PPE and social distancing and hand hygiene in a very different context that we've ever used before. And so that's going to mean some differences in the way we operate when we physically come back together again. And we want to make sure that we're thinking really concretely about what some of those things are. So more to come on that, but I really want to encourage people to continue. If you haven't already, share your ideas with your chain of commands, send your ideas in through our COVID mailbox. We want to be open to all voices and just really figure out as a way, as the community and Connecticut starts to think of through their task force of how to reopen, how do we resume full functioning? One of the things, the dates that are out there is May 20th, which is
Yep.
the date that the governor has closed schools up to so far. We don't know that that's going to be any kind of hard and fast rule for us. We have authorizing environments outside of the department that I have to be able to inform in terms of how we'll open. There's other state agencies that are in that have to have a part of that conversation, and private industry and business. So we're going to take it slow, and we're going to make sure that we don't just jump right back into business as usual, because there are things that we've learned, things we want to avoid, and things we want to plan for. So it's an exciting time to think about recovery, but not only for us, it's an exciting time to think about what the recovery is going to look like for our families. Many of them have experienced economic hardships, loss of jobs, loss of income. What has it been like to do distance learning? We've heard some really concerning issues related to children who have special needs and the additional stress that this has put on their families, and really trying to make sure that we support our families not only through this, but in the aftermath. So there's lots of things that we have to consider as we plan to start. How do we think about even resuming all of our functions?
And along the way with resuming is, as you indicated, we never closed. One of the pieces that staff have been very clear about is teleworking has been effective. Staff feel that they are being very productive at home. And what's the balance between the where we are now and what the future is going to look like. That's exactly why you want all voices to
Yeah,
provide
that's right.
input.
Yeah, what from a technology standpoint do we have to consider? What from a fiscal standpoint do we have to consider? Because we know that the state's recovery is going to be tough as well. So there's lots and lots and lots to think about, and we want to be able to make sure that our planning is as holistic as possible.
Yep.
So I think we may have come to the point at which we give people an opportunity to log off. We recognize that, this time of the video is the time that we have decided to share the data related to our staff positives, our kid positives, and our foster homes. Over 27,000 Connecticut residents have tested positive for COVID-19. It's just incredible. We know that has had an impact on our communities, particularly communities of color have been hit disproportionately. A lot of our staff members have had losses as a result of that. And so our data this week is as follows. We have had 29 staff who have tested COVID positive that we've done our contact tracing with. 20 of those staff members have returned to work. We are up to 86% of our staff now teleworking to some degree, which is just a phenomenal number to talk about how we have maintained our work throughout all this. We are at 46 foster parents who have tested positive. So earlier we talked about the impact to the foster care system of all of this. And that's, 21 TFC foster homes and 25 core foster homes. We had the one relative foster parent pass away that we announced a couple of weeks ago. And so the impact to the foster care system has been really tremendous. We've had 7 children and youth in our care who have tested positive. The one young man who was in DOC custody, another in a supported living cheer program. We've had the 4 other children who are in congregate settings, 2 of those that are out of state, and then 1 child in a foster home who tested positive. So as we continue to really look at our footprint on transmission, we will share the data with you as it becomes available to us. And we always will remember to thank you for all the work that you're doing during this pandemic and beyond. And remember, wear your masks in public. Continue to keep yourself safe. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Commissioner. Have a great weekend.
All right. Take care, Ken.